Imagine you've collected all this valuable product feedback into Fibery. How do you connect it to the data in your CRM? How can you understand which customer gave what feedback? How important is the feedback based on customer type, customer size, target segment, and so on? Let's look at how to connect HubSpot CRM data with Fibery feedback. To begin with, we need to sync HubSpot data into Fibery. Navigate to Templates, click Integrations, and find HubSpot. The HubSpot integration will fetch all the data you have in your HubSpot CRM databases. Click Sync, select a HubSpot account, and choose which databases to sync. Here you can select the fields you want to import into Fibery, but by default it will sync all the fields you have. Now you can see that a HubSpot space has been created in the left menu. Your selected databases have been added and the synchronization process has started. When it completes, your company and contact databases will be filled with real data from HubSpot. But how do you tie your feedback data to your HubSpot data? At the moment, we have 3 feedback sources: interviews, surveys, and web. For now, we'll just look at how you can link the correct HubSpot data to your interviews. With interviews, you'll have an email address for the person with whom you've had this interview. We'll use the email field to match the interview with a HubSpot contact. It's quite easy. Just create a new relation from the interview database and select the contact database in the HubSpot space. An interview will only have one contact, but a contact might have many interviews. And now we'll use automatic linking. For the interview, we use the email field and we'll match with the email field in the contact database. It's that easy. As a result, you'll see a HubSpot contact linked to each of your interviews. The next step is to find the company. Since we already have a linked contact and a HubSpot contact has a company field, we can just create a lookup. Starting from the contact, we're looking to find the associated company in HubSpot. And if you open a linked company, you can see all the data from your HubSpot account, including fields like total revenue, company size, and so on. The next step is to propagate this information to the feedback highlights. Interviews are a potential source of highlights, so we can create a new formula to fetch company information from the interview. Let's call this field Source Company. We'll take interview and find the contact's associated company field. Now, every highlight created from an interview will have this Source Company field set. Let's check out what this means we can do. It's possible to create a table view of highlights and see the linked companies. Here we go. We see that highlights created from interviews have an associated company. If we want, we can filter highlights for a single company. So let's say we're interested in the Test.io company. So these are all the highlights from that company. In this way, you can quickly find all feedback for a company you're interested in. Now imagine you want to calculate a highlight score. Up until now, we had a score formula that's very simple. It just took into consideration the highlight severity. What we want to do is to take into consideration the number of employees in the company from which the feedback came. So, if it's a large company, we'll multiply our score by 2. If it's a medium-sized company, by 1.5, and if it's a small company, less than 20 people, we'll just multiply it by 1. When you're looking at highlights, you can show the score field, and this score field now depends upon the company size. But the real value comes when you leverage the feedback score to prioritize your features. In our backlog, we already had a priority score, which is the sum of our highlight scores divided by the effort. But now, the highlight scores can take into account useful information from your CRM, meaning that prioritization is aligned with the overall company strategy.